Karenia Brevis, written by Lillian Gottwald and Therese McPherson, illustrated by Carville and Scott Prather. Our friend Karenia Brevis is floating alone near the west coast of Florida. Karenia has no memory of where she is, if she has family, what her purpose is, or even who she is. Before she could even begin to figure out what to do, an upcurrent sent Karenia into an estuary, a place where manatees live. Karenia saw a manatee in the distance and had a desire to make friends with it, so she swam over and tried to hug the manatee. The manatee was eating seagrass and accidentally swallowed Karenia. This made the manatee sick, and the next thing little Karenia knew, she was being sneezed out and propelled out of the water and into the air. A light breeze then carried the scared Karenia through the air and landed on a human. This woman was now starting to feel sick, but luckily she knew what to do because she happened to be a scientist for Mote Marine Laboratories, a place where people study the marine life in Sarasota, Florida. The lady walked into Mote and walked past the tank where our old friend, the manatee, was getting treated for his sickness. Karenia wanted to see how the manatee was doing, but the lady kept walking and went into a lab where she put little Karenia on a glass slide to see her under the microscope. Karenia felt sad and lonely in the glass slide, but then all of a sudden she began to feel very strange. Karenia just split in half. She was no longer lonely. Soon after meeting each other, a new woman came over and looked at the two Karenia Brevises sitting together. "Hello, I'm Karen Steidinger." Karen took the slide carrying the two scared little specimens into her office. She put the slide on a couch and used an eyedropper full of a magic liquid and put a few drops on the slide. The two specimens grew to be 11 inches tall, and they could even speak English. Karenia started crying, and her twin started holding her hand. Karen immediately asked her what was wrong. Karenia began to ask Karen all the questions she had from the moment she found herself in the estuary. "Where did I come from?" asked Karenia, sniffling. "Like all living things on planet Earth, you and I came from the stars," Karen replied. "What's my purpose in life?" asked Karenia. "Your purpose, like mine, is to be. Yes, just to be. Every living thing has evolved to what it is today," Karen said in a kind voice. "Why can't I make friends with mammals?" asked Karenia. "Humans are afraid of you. Well, at least, not of you as an individual, but of you and your relatives when you gather for family meetings because of the toxic byproducts you leave behind in the water. Educating them about who you are and understanding some of your ways would make them less afraid. Other mammals, such as manatees, are wary because your family can invade their watery home and make them sick. But you are only one dinoflagellate cell, and you present no threat and no harm," replied Karen. "Am I a bad dinoflagellate?" asked Karenia. "All dinoflagellates are good, particularly those that are photosynthetic, like the plants in the forest, because they produce oxygen in the daytime. You're a photosynthetic dinoflagellate and release oxygen to the water and atmosphere. Without living things like you, there would be no life on Earth as we know it," said Karen. "Do I have parents?" asked Karenia. "You not only have parents, but a whole family dating back in time. You look a lot like your parents," Karen smiled. Karenia looked at her twin sitting next to her and asked, "Why do I split in half?" "You split in half to grow. Yes, to grow. If you split every 3 days, then there are 2 of you in 3 days, 4 of you in 6, 8 of you in 9, 16 in 12, and so on." "You don't grow in size, but you do grow in population numbers," said Karen excitedly. All this new information made Karenia very excited. She thanked Karen for her kind words and her answers. Karenia and her twin shrank back to their original size and again drifted through the air hand in hand on a gust of wind that took them to new places, and they were no longer scared.